Great to see you too. Well, so the first, I want to just comment on three things that we're going to need from the grassroots this year related to the elections. The first is, especially those of you who are in Virginia, we're going to need to be flexible. So while we are adopting these power packs and supporting key campaigns, at some point in the cycle, I'm going to say probably beginning of October, we're going to need to start to flex and go to whichever campaign needs us the most. So I'm going to be tracking the data to make sure that we know which of our candidates really need support on the doors, support via phone banking, and support via fundraising for the next couple of months, because it's going to change. And so we want to make sure that we are reacting to real time. And because we are located in Virginia, we have that capacity. It's harder to do that with outside support from other states. So we want to make sure that we're staying on top of that. So I'm going to make sure that each Friday when I come to join you, I share some of that data when we have it. So more on that to come. The second thing we need to do is we need to strategize together. So this is a great place to be sharing information, but I also want to share that we now have a new coalition in the Virginia Beach area called Go CD2, which you can join if you are there and you haven't been at any of our previous meetings. We also have the Loudoun Grassroots Coalition, which brings together great groups from across Loudoun, in addition to campaigns and Democratic committees. And then we have the statewide Virginia Grassroots Coalition. So if you want to join any of those groups, I will put my email in the chat. Please contact me. I'll make sure that you're invited to our upcoming meetings where we really do have these more in-depth strategy conversations. And then lastly, we need to have fun. This is going to be a long haul. We need to make it exciting. And so I just want to highlight, I know Barb is on the call or is in the room today, and she's planning a great event in Loudoun County called Vote Early Happy Hour. And we want to think about who else would like to take this on in other parts of the state. Heidi down in Virginia Beach has said that she wants to try to do something similar. The idea is simple, right? It's instead of trying to ask folks to go canvass who you know are just not going to go canvass with you, ask them to come vote with you on day one of early voting. This gives us a chance to log those votes early. It makes sure that we're not expending extra energy and effort on getting these people to vote who we know are going to vote anyway. And it gives us a chance to take photos, put it on social media, and get other people excited about the election. So hopefully we'll have more information on these vote early happy hours. But if you want to host one in your neighborhood, please let us know, and we'll make sure to gather all of that information. So on to my Power Pack for today. Today, we're going to highlight Power Pack Senate District 22 with Aaron Rouse, which is down in the Virginia Beach area. This Senate race, it actually leans Democratic now that it's been redistricted, which is great news. It also overlaps with House District 95. Alex Askew is running for that. House District 96, Kelly Fowler is running for that one. And House District 97, which is Michael Fagan's race. The biggest one that we want to focus on is obviously we need to get Aaron back in the Senate, and we need to make sure that we have that Senate brick wall. But Michael Fagan's is a toss-up seat. It's going to be a little bit more difficult to win. And so we really need all the support that we can get for that seat. So I want to also note that Aaron Rouse currently has pretty good fundraising numbers, but not a huge amount of money in the bank. He's got more than his opponent, though. More money, I'm sure, will be needed, especially if these campaigns end up going onto TV. And then we've also got Michael Fagan's. He is on par with his opponent with about $250,000 in the bank, which is great news. But that says to me that this is going to be a expensive House race. So please pay attention. And if there are ways that you can give financially, that would be great. Both of the Rouse and Fagan's campaigns have weekly canvassing and phone banking opportunities. And you can find all of them on the Virginia Grassroots Coalition website, which Dennis is doing a fantastic job of updating. So if you go to a Power Pack page, you can see I just put the link into the chat. You can find those events that you can join to help support the campaigns. And lastly, I want you to hold 2 dates for going down to Virginia Beach. It's important that we are there and helping knock doors this year. The first one is September 30 through October 1st is going to be our first grassroots weekend of action down there. And then the second will be October 28, 29. It will be really helpful that early week to be getting out the early vote, and then the later week to really be solidifying who has a plan to vote for those who haven't voted early, making sure everybody knows who's on their ballot, et cetera. So please make sure that you come down to Virginia Beach with us either of those weekends or both, which would be great. I'm going to put in the chat some other options for action this weekend, including canvassing for Jessica Anderson, canvassing for Russet Perry. There's a Biden-Harris Training Academy this weekend, as well as a fundraiser for Michael Fagans. And then last but not least, because I can't leave out our legislative work, we have 2 calls to action, really easy letters that you can send to the people who need to hear from you. The first one is about saving Fishburne Park in Roanoke, Virginia. And the second is about demanding a Senate investigation for the Mountain Valley Pipeline. So all of that will be coming up in the chat as soon as I'm chatting with you.
Yeah, I like your shirt. Great shirt from the summit, all in to win. And if you want one of those shirts, I'm sure that we can stare right. Our Shopify, go to our Shopify, get your shirt. Everybody should have one of these shirts while they're canvassing. Real quick I wanted to ask you, I want to just give a shout out. There's new people in the room today, letting them know if they're new to get into action with you. And I have to say, make sure that you reach out to Luisa. And Luisa, you put your email in there. Join our coalition. This is great to come on every Friday because it's really great community building. But as Luisa said, these you can get in an election work group. And I think for Virginia, I see Franny from California here, Franny and others that are writing for us. Coming to sometimes our meetings really helps you get an idea maybe who to write for or what's going on. So get in a community with us. Am I right? That's a great way I know you sold it. I'm going to resell it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think especially if you want to be getting into a little bit more of the detail, like you're canvassing for a campaign, but you want to talk about, hey, I'm kind of seeing some issues when I'm going down there. They're not quite as organized. These strategy meetings are the place to share that information because we can then push it up to those who can come in and help out those campaigns, bring additional support, et cetera. So we also want to hear what's going on the ground, and those are great opportunities to share that.